So let's celebrate progress, but let's also count the receipts, brothers and sisters. Because the real measure of leadership isn't how diverse the photo ops look. It's how diverse the contracts and the checks are.
This is the Publisher's Desk with Damon K. Jones, brought to you by Black Westchester Magazine, where life, culture, community, and faith meet truth, power, and purpose.
Peace and blessings, everybody. This is Damon K. Jones here, and welcome to another show of the Publisher's Desk, Black Westchester Magazine, blackwestchester.com. And today we're going to talk about the New York City mayor race and Zohran Mamdani's historic win. Zohran Mamdani has made history as New York City's first Muslim mayor and the first Democratic Socialist to ever hold the office. That means Black New Yorkers didn't just vote for a new face. They voted for a new ideology. But before we celebrate, we have to ask, what exactly is a Democratic Socialist? A Democratic Socialist believes that government should control or heavily influence major parts of the economy. Things like housing, education, healthcare, public services, and reduce inequality. It sounds good in theory, brothers and sisters. Equality and fairness, and everybody gets a share, right? But in practice, it often means more government control and less private ownership. And for Black Americans, especially Black New Yorkers, because every time we relied on government-managed solutions instead of building independent ownership, we've lost ground, not gained it. So the question becomes right now, if Black New Yorkers helped elect a Democratic Socialist, what does it mean for the Black businesses, Black wealth, and Black power in New York City? Because representation without results and inclusion without ownership doesn't change the condition of our people. Mamdani ran on a platform of economic justice, free transit, affordable housing, universal childcare, and tenant protections. Mamdani ran on a platform of economic justice, free transit, affordable housing, universal childcare, and tenant protections.
But a rent freeze, you're talking about free buses, you're talking about free childcare. Can you do that without raising taxes?
I think you can do that, and I think you have to raise taxes on the top 1% of New Yorkers who make more than $1 million a year, and you do that by raising taxes by them 2%. And then you also increase the corporate tax of New York State to match that of New Jersey. So that takes us from about 7.25 to about 11.5%, which is what we see in New Jersey. These things together raise about $9 billion, which more than pays for our economic agenda and also starts to Trump-proof our city.
But are you worried that could drive a lot of job creators out of New York?
So what I've heard from a number of business leaders is that the affordability crisis is also affecting their ability to attract and retain talent. The city's inability to provide childcare means that businesses often have to provide stipends for that childcare. Right now, the absence of universal childcare means that a family will pay around $22,500 a year, which is more money than many of them would spend if they sent that same kid to college 18 years later. And it is time for city government to actually step up to the responsibility that it has.
Not just the city government, that kind of a tax increase is going to require the state as well, including the governor, Kathy Hochul. Is she on board?
You know, I'm proud to have Governor Kathy Hochul's endorsement and the endorsement of our agenda, specifically universal childcare. And I've said time and again, I think these are the two most direct and straightforward ways to raise this revenue. If there are other ways to raise this funds, the most important thing is that we actually fund this agenda.
In his own words, he said the city can afford free transit, universal health care, and rent freeze by raising taxes on the top 1% New York. Those earning over $1 million a year by about 2%. He also wants to raise the corporate tax rate roughly 7.25% and match New Jersey's 11.5%. According to his math, That's about $9 billion in new revenue to fund what he calls the most ambitious affordability agenda since LaGuardia. But let's be real. Let's be in reality. New York is already one of the highest tax states in the country. Between city, state, property taxes, people are already stretched thin. And now you want to raise taxes even higher. That's not affordability. That is just math insanity. Last year alone, 7,800,000 New Yorkers left the city, and a large share of them were middle-class Black families, homeowners, professionals, and retirees, the backbone of the city's economy and tax base. They're not leaving because they hate New York. They're leaving because New York is no longer working for them. They're heading south to Georgia, Florida, Texas, and the Carolinas. Where their money goes further, their home costs are less, and they could actually live without drowning in taxes and regulation. So when Mamdani says he wants to make the city affordable, ask yourself, affordable for who? Because every time you raise taxes in New York, it's the middle class that ends up paying the price. We should know this by now, brothers and sisters. The wealthy move their money. The poor stay dependent. And the middle class, especially the Black middle class, packs up and leaves. You can't fix inequality by punishing productivity. You can't build an economy by driving out the very people who make it work. And you can't call it progress when the people who built the city can no longer live in it. But affordability and ownership are not the same thing, brothers and sisters. You can lower prices without ever transferring power. And history tells us when that word universal programs are used, Black communities are usually the last to benefit from them and the first to be displaced by them. When Zohran Mamdani met with Black realtors and developers during his campaign, he wouldn't guarantee a single number, not a commitment to how much the city contracts or housing projects would go to Black-owned firms. Now that's important, brothers and sisters, because New York already has a benchmark. See, whether you like it or not, under Mayor Eric Adams, minority and women-owned businesses received 31.2% of the eligible city contracts. That's not a number on paper. That's a bar that Mamdani has to beat. Even before Adams, Governor Cuomo, when met with the Realtors Association, he said he would give 35% for New York City minority-owned women business participation. But Mamdani never guaranteed any number. So if Mamdani's administration is going to call itself more progressive, more inclusive, and more equitable, he has to do better than 31.2%. And we just have to wait and see. But almost half Black New Yorkers voted for Zohran Mamdani. That's not a small number, brothers and sisters. That's almost a mandate. It means that the Black community didn't just support him, they helped him make history. But history without reciprocity is just politics as usual. The real question now is, what will Black New Yorkers get in return? I'm not talking about free stuff, because that's what they always promise Black folks is free stuff. If our votes deliver the win, our community deserves to share in the contracts, the developments, and the ownership that comes with the power. If Black folks gave nearly 50% of our vote, we deserve at least that much in opportunity. See, that is my problem with Black people on a national level. We give 90 to 95% of our vote to the Democratic Party, but we do not get anything for it. Our communities look a mess. They look a mess. And the only thing they could tell us is that it's better than last year, but it's still a mess. And then they get to blame the mayor or the governor before them, but they still haven't fixed the mess. So let's be honest. Real power in any city moves through land, property, and contracts. The Black community has been systematically locked out of all three. If this new administration builds thousands of affordable units, but contracts go to politically connected nonprofits or large developers, Black realtors and contractors will still be left outside the gate. And that's how it is in many Black communities. When we vote for Black politicians, the contracts goes to the outside white developers, the outside white nonprofits, and our community money is just sucked out and not going to Black developers and Black contractors. And if regulation makes it harder for small investors and entrepreneurs to build, our chance to own, not just rent, disappears again. So yes, we might get cheaper bus rides, but the question is, will we ever get the ownership of the bus? We might get new housing, but we get Black developers to build it and Black people that will own it. See, this moment can still work for us if we organize, not idolize. Here's what we can do, because we need to start demanding from day one when Mamdani steps in the office, brothers and sisters. You help put him in, and you need to hold him to his word. We need procurement accountability, hard targets for Black-owned firms in every major city contract. Black real estate inclusion, a guaranteed seat for Black developers on every housing initiative board. Capital access, micro-grant and low-interest loan programs for Black small businesses tied to city projects. Community oversight. Public data on where the city's money actually goes, who gets the contracts, and which neighborhoods see the invested. That isn't about party loyalty. It's about a return on an investment for Black New Yorkers, the people who keep this city running. Mamdani's win is historic, but history is only half the story. Representation without transformation doesn't feed families, it doesn't build wealth or protect Black ownership. So let's celebrate progress, but let's also count the receipts, brothers and sisters. Because the real measure of leadership isn't how diverse the photo ops look. It's how diverse the contracts and the checks are. This is Damon K. Jones, the publisher of Black Westchester Magazine, blackwestchester.com, reminding you that the Black vote must come with Black vision, and Black vision must come with Black economics. And that's why Black New Yorkers, Black Americans need a political agenda. Because Marcus Garvey tried to tell you, Frederick Douglass tried to tell you, Booker T. Washington tried to tell you, Elijah Muhammad tried to tell you, Malcolm X tried to tell you, Minister Farrakhan tried to tell you, Dr. Claud Anderson and Dr. Amos Wilson. One gave you powernomics and the other gave you the blueprint for Black power. But we keep voting for inclusion and universal politics that has never, ever changed the condition of our communities. Once again, I'm Damon K. Jones, Black Westchester Magazine, blackwestchester.com. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, and stay blacktastic. Peace out.
Tired of the same emotional politics that lead nowhere. Emotional Politics, Logical Failure by Damon K. Jones is the book Black America needs right now. It exposes the lies, challenges the gatekeepers, and calls for real strategy, not just symbolism. Power starts with truth. On sale, now, and available in audiobook on Amazon.
Tolerance is for Cowards by Damon K. Jones. This book is not anti-police, it's pro-community. Discover how the extended policing strategy empowers you to demand real public safety, justice, and accountability from your local police department. Because the Black community deserves good policing. On sale now on Amazon and Audible. Discover Jesus and Divine Black Masculinity by Damon K. Jones. This a bold blueprint to restore faith, manhood, and purpose in Black America. Because the Black community needs good Black men. Available now on Amazon. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like and share it with others who need to hear the truth. And for exclusive content and behind-the-scenes access, join the Black Westchester Magazine YouTube membership club today. Your support helps us keep independent Black media strong. Support independent Black media with style. Rock Black Westchester merch and represent the news with the Black point of view. Every purchase helps us speak truth to power.